It's episode 6 and the final part of this little week-long series reviewing fragrances from quirky hipster brand Captain Fawcett. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Captain Fawcett EDP, which is the only one that isn't actually in collaboration with a guest contributor. So, to find out all you need to know about this one, as well as my final verdict on all the collection as a whole, stay tuned to this episode of Mags Frags. Yes, hello again and welcome to this latest episode of Mags Frags, where it's the fragrance that's the star of the show. My name's Paul and today's scent of the day is Captain Fawcett EDP and it's an aromatic fougere fragrance for men that was launched in 2021. And it's priced at £55, so slightly cheaper than the others, and it comes in the same 50ml bottle size. But you can also pick up a 2ml sample for just £2.75 if you're interested in trying this one out rather than going ahead and blind buying it. Okay, so into the presentation, and like all the others that I've already reviewed, the box comes in a very familiar vintage style brown cardboard design, and it features a lilac coloured sticker that runs around the side containing the name of the fragrance. There's also the name printed on the front, as well as the Captain Fawcett logo and the size and the concentration down at the bottom. At the top is the same info again, and then around the back is just a brief overview about what the scent's about itself and the notes that are in it, etc. And finally, right at the very bottom, there's the barcode, complete with the stiff upper lip, quirky, cool little moustache above it. On the inside of the box, there's a really nice little printed pattern. But you don't get the inlay card like you do with all the other ones here. You just get the pattern box, and the bottle itself looks quite conservative and minimalistic in this thin rectangular clear glass bottle. However, the cap does fit very securely over the atomizer, which is a plus compared to the others that I've reviewed this week. It's got a logo printed on the front along with the original Captain Fawcett code down at the bottom. The atomizer delivers a really nice big blast of juice, and overall the presentation is probably designed to reflect the style of fragrance bottles from the early 20th century, but it's a bit uninspiring to look at if I'm honest. Yeah, so into the note breakdown, and the top notes in this are bergamot and mandarin orange. In the heart, we've got cardamom and coriander, and the base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, and moss. Okay, so this one opens up super bright and you'll get some sparkling citruses off the top, but pretty much straight away you'll get a mix of the cardamom, the coriander and the moss that comes through, and it quickly transforms into like an exotic spicy green and slightly earthy smelling aroma, albeit with a touch of smooth sweetness from the vanilla and the sandalwood in the base. It's a clean and crisp smelling fragrance with a very sophisticated masculine quality. But it's definitely a throwback and a nod to the old school fougere fragrances, and it isn't trying to be anything else, and it would be actually a compliment to call this one old-fashioned. It remains fresh and effervescent all the way through, but you do end up with a soft sandalwood and the sweet vanilla right at the end, just to bring some extra longevity and depth to it. The cardamom for me plays the most significant role, and this to my nose is the most prominent note in the composition, and it produces a green, slightly bitter, slightly spicy kick, and all the other notes just seem to play more of a supporting role. It's not quite La Nuit de l'Homme levels of prominence, but you do get that kind of vibe, maybe with a mix of Terre de Mez thrown in. It's super easy to wear and it smells extremely sharp and classy. Yeah, just like the majority of fragrances in the Captain Fawcett collection, this is a super versatile scent for these spring and summer months, and it's absolutely perfect for pretty much any situation, day or night. You could wear it dressed up or casually, and I can't really think of a situation where this wouldn't work perfectly. The only thing that I'd say is that it has a real vintage scent profile, so you'd have to be a little bit quirky to wear this as a young fella, but men over the age of 40 will probably be reminded of how their fathers and older family members used to smell when they'd catch a waft of it back in the day. It's a revived classic that just transforms you back in time and makes you think of red and white striped barbershops, cufflinks, tie bars and pocket watches. It's just a true gentleman's daily wear signature fragrance. Yeah, the performance on this one is pretty decent for a fragrance of this type, and I have actually had a couple of people compliment it and say that it smells really nice and fresh, so it is obviously projecting, and I'd say it projects quite well for a couple of hours, but then it does die down a little bit and people will still notice it on you from maybe a couple of feet away or as you're walking past them, but it's not a room filling fragrance. I think you'll get around about 6 to 7 hours of longevity out of it, but the bottle's so small that you could just slip it into your pocket and not really know it's there, so you could give yourself a couple of cheeky extra sprays throughout the day if you plan to wear it as a work scent. Okay, so over the past 6 days I've completely immersed myself in this collection and I've really developed a real soft spot for them. Captain Fawcett aren't an exclusive fragrance house, and I think all 6 of these products have been really well crafted and they all have their own unique and quirky identity and scent character, and they all smell very expensive and niche quality. But if I was to rank them in order from my least favourite to my favourite, I'd say that in 6th place I'd probably go to the Alessandro Manfredini. It smells unique and I actually do really like how it smells, but I just prefer how the others smell, and also this one is probably the weakest performer. In 5th, I'd go to the original, because even though it's a superb smelling scent, it's probably just a bit too on the vintage smelling side for my own personal taste, and it's also maybe not as unique as some of the others. In 4th place, I'd go to Barbarism. Again, this smells fantastic and probably the most mass appealing and safest blind buy out of the whole 6, but just maybe not got the uniqueness of the other ones in the top 3. In 3rd place, it would go to Booze and Baccy. Not going to be to everyone's taste, that's for sure, and a bit of a love it or hate it type scent, but it is unique and will definitely set you apart and start up a few conversations. In the 2nd place, I'd go to Triumphant, and I'd say that this is a stunning, super fresh fragrance with a huge opening, and I think this has a fairly unique character. It's my pick for the springtime, but maybe appreciated more by men perhaps over the age of 30. And finally, at the number 1 spot, I'd have to give it to Maharaja, because it's the only one that I sprayed and thought instantly that it smelled like a £300 niche fragrance, and it's the one that kind of diverts away from the fresh barbershop fougere genre, and I happen to prefer darker, sweeter smelling fragrances in general, but honestly you can't go wrong with any of these, and I'd recommend that you pick up the 6 carded samples for £13 and just have as much fun as discovering them as I have. Okay, so that's about it for this little 6-part mini-series, and I hope you've had as much fun as I have discovering these quirky little scents. But over the next few episodes, it's back to talking about some wallet-friendly Middle Eastern cologne fragrances, and I've got some new and exclusives for you, so don't forget to keep an eye out for them over the next coming days. And as always, guys, if you've got any value from this video and this series in particular, then don't forget to give this video a little like and also subscribe to the channel. It's also great to hear all your opinions, your thoughts and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature in these reviews, so don't forget to keep your comments coming down in the comment section. So as always, thank you very much once again for tuning into this episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for some more Middle Eastern clones. Bye bye for now.